Coffee warms my cockles. What is a cockle anyway? I'm not sure. That's what it is. Cool. So, in today's video I'm going to talk about antidepressants. It's a topic that means a lot to me because I experienced antidepressants for 9 months. And I want to talk about if I think it is a good idea. I can't say if it's a good idea for you. All I can speak of is my experience. Now, I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible, but it sort of opens up to the whole story of me and why I was, and what led me to antidepressants. So, I'll spend 30 seconds talking about that. I was in a shit place, and I came to the realization, I broke down to my mum because she was like, what's wrong? Because I had got really drunk the night before, and I was living with my mum at the time because we got kicked out of our place in the middle of COVID, and that was really hard. We couldn't find a new house, so moved in with mum. The cat got run over because it was in suburbia. That was hectic. That was really hard to get through. And I hit the bottle one night and got really drunk. The next day I was just like, why did I do that? And then mum was like, could sense something was up. And she's like, let's have a chat. Okay. And I just broke down. I told her that I don't know if I had ever actually been happy. And when I really had to think about it, to be honest, was like the happiest times in my life is when I've been on MDMA. And that is something that needs to be replaced. I can't. I was like, that's shit. I'm totally not happy. If that's my trophy on a shelf, that's something I want to rip that shelf down and burn it and like build a new shelf full of happy thoughts. And, you know, so I broke down. And I promised to my mum and my wife that I was going to seek help. So I did, went to a psychologist that I had seen in the past that had stopped seeing. I just thought maybe I'd seen him 6 times in the past. And he had never mentioned anything about medication. But this time I was obviously pretty bad where I hated myself. I had a lot of hate. I had a lot of negativity boiling in me. And he's like, you're probably not going to want to hear this, but I think medication is going to be the best idea. So he gave me a few options. I looked into it, went to see a doctor, got put on a mental health plan. And Lexapro was the chosen one. Actually, the doctor himself was on Lexapro because his best mate shot himself in the head, and he came home to his best mate headless. Like, to survive, he needed to take Lexapro, and so he recommended it to me. I was like, well, I'll give it a go because I promised my family. Within the first 2 weeks, they say is kind of hard. You're going to experience some, like, what do they say? Nausea, might affect your sleep, etc. And for me, yeah, it did a few things. I felt a little bit funny at times, felt nauseous. It's not that bad, but it was like a realization of, wow, this is kind of a powerful drug. So then after 2 months, I had upped my dose and I couldn't really feel it anymore. I was just taking them every day at night time. I was sleeping fine, all of the above, but and look, it did help me because I stopped drinking alcohol because the doctor said you shouldn't drink alcohol on Lexapro. So I was like, okay, that's a good reason to stop. I stopped, and I want to talk about that in another video, stopping alcohol, because that is a topic that means a huge amount to me, and the benefits of said commitment. So after 2 months, I was like kind of in a good place. So I wasn't like, oh yeah, I've got it all sorted. I was just like not constantly thinking of shit and not hating on myself as much. I still did a bit, obviously, because they're not magic. You still got to do work on yourself. But, you know, Lexapro can, all those kind of antidepressants, they can put you in a place where you can start thinking a little bit more positive so you can start doing the work on yourself. And that's the tricky part, is doing the work on yourself. And hang on a sec, I'm just going to go to Cashies because if I drive into Maroochydore, I cannot go to anywhere else but Cashies first. I have to do my Cashies run, and then I can continue on the day, go to Bunno's, get myself a Soso. No, those Sosos are shit. I've been diagnosed with bad cholesterol, so stay away from Sosos. Anyway, I'll see you in a sec. I don't know why I do that to myself. What do I think I'm going to find? I've got an addiction of buying shit. It's called GAS, Gear Acquisition Syndrome. I think I'm saying acquisition wrong, but I don't actually know how to say it. If you know how to say it, type in the comment section below. Okay, I've got to rewind. Where was I? Whoop. You can slow down, mate. Maybe it was my fault. It's not always someone else's fault. But he was gunning it. Whether or not it was because I stopped alcohol or not, like that's a big, big reason to feel better about life, is stopping alcohol. But then, okay, skip 9 months down the track and my mum and my dad passed away. And coming up prior to that, I don't think I wasn't doing the right work on myself, because I was in a shit place. I wasn't treating my wife right, especially throughout the whole death of my parents thing. I mean, that was really hard to get through, and she was trying to support me. I kind of didn't let her. I guess secretly I wanted to push everyone away because I wanted to go with my parents. I could feel the door opening, and I was like, well, I wouldn't mind going too. You know, this world is a bit average. So antidepressants aren't going to fix everything. That's what I'm getting to. It's like, okay, for me, what do I think about it now? No, I don't think they're good. Because once you're on them, it can have benefits, but at some point you got to get off them, and then you feel like shit when you get off them. And at the end of the day, you've got to deal with your problems. You can't just cover them up. You can't just put a blanket on them. Like I was using alcohol to put a blanket on them, and then I was using the antidepressants to put a blanket on them. But I don't think I was actually doing the work on myself. So I've been slapped in the face with this whole process of my parents passing away, my wife leaving me, etc. It's been a big slap in the face for me to actually put in the hard work on myself. And this is what this channel is about, is my growth into a new life. Like I feel reborn now. I feel like a young little child, just like learning how to swim. But I'm getting somewhere. I'm starting to feel good about myself. But that's because I've done the work. Now, I stopped the antidepressants a year ago, so it's been a really rough year because of what happened. I was in a really shit place, but I feel a lot better now than when I was on antidepressants. So, antidepressants, thumbs down. For me, I just think that if shit's really bad, it's tricky because sometimes it seems like the only way to go is the antidepressants, because you don't want to end yourself. Like in some people's situation, they might just end themselves because shit's so bad. So I guess in that situation, it can definitely be beneficial. But then at some point, you got to realize you got to do the work on yourself. It's just like if you're just cruising along, instead of going up here and down there, you're just cruising along, and that's what they're meant to do, is kind of make you fly on neutral, automatic pilot almost. You're searching for that content feeling. You kind of get it on Lexapro, but life without it and finding that as a destination is much more fruitful, because you can actually get up here, you can feel really good, whereas Lexapro, you're like, oh, I kind of feel good in a robotic, zombified way. So that's my opinion on antidepressants. I'm at Modesto, Bunno's, gonna get my Soso and get some materials for my water wall and continue on that project. So thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe and have a good day.